Good evening. Thank you for watching Goodwin Live. Sorry we're on slightly later, about a minute behind schedule, so apologies for that. Before I go into today, just to let you know what's on next after today, Facebook Live Sunday evening 6:30. Make sure you tune in on Sunday evening to Facebook Live. We will be covering the latest news from boxing, plus also, as I always do, cover news about the financial world and what's going on with that, and there's a hell of a lot going on there, so we'll cover that with you on Sunday evening at 6:30. And our next Instagram live is on next Monday, and next Monday we've got on Ben Day, former Southern Area champion. We have Ian Burbridge, trainer, who's had many champions, Neil Parry, young welterweight making waves, and Mickey Amu, manager of Richard Comey and Duke Mika, and they will be joining us next Monday. So for tonight, and I'll start at the back end, at 7:30 we have on one of the most fun journeymen that we could have watched over recent years, a good man to boot as well, Curtis Gargano. Jack Newham, light welterweight or super lightweight prospect. He'll be telling us about why he's been out of the ring and what he's hoping for when boxing resumes. 7:10, we're going to be joined by Marlee Dann, a man that's responsible for helping to resurrect boxing in Plymouth, and he's working with us. And first of all, one of his charges, Conor Adaway, undefeated pro boxer. He's had one fight, brother to Chris, who's a journeyman, and it's Conor we're going to be speaking with first. So let's track Conor. Here we go. Let's see. Let's have a chat with Conor. Conor, how are you?
I'm good, Steve, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Pat, I've been warned you're a bit nervous about doing this.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. That's Marlee messing about. Yeah, I'm all right.
What you been up to in lockdown?
Well, I had 8 weeks off work, so I sort of just ticked over. I didn't train too hard, but I've been running and shadow boxing, bit of the bag work, not too hard, just enjoying it really. But I'm back to work now, so I'm pretty much working all the time really.
What do you do work wise?
I'm a window cleaner, so I'm my own boss, so it helps with the boxing really. So I'll get to, if I need to go and train, I will really.
Oh, brilliant! So people are quite happy having you back. I guess their windows are
down. Yeah, people are happy. Yeah, I was quite surprised. I thought I'd lose a lot of customers, but all I've done is gain customers really. So it's going on right. Yeah.
So a bit frustrating for you when the April show was called off, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was gutted if I'm honest with you. If I got that one out of the way, I would have been all right. But the first couple of weeks, I was a bit down about it. But I've picked myself up now, and I've sort of come to the conclusion that there's a lot worse going on in the world.
Well, the thing is, you're a young man, and you've got a massive career ahead of you. So, none of us can control how long we're out of the ring for, can we? I mean, we're just...
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I saw Eddie Hearn today's announced, I mean, I don't know how if he's got a crystal ball, but he's announced a Newcastle show for the first week of October.
Really?
I was really shocked. I mean, we've still got the Guildhall booked for the end of October, but
yeah, it'll be a big stretch with ticket selling and stuff.
I agree, don't you? I can't see it.
I don't see it. I don't see it, if I'm honest with you, which again is a bit gutting. But
have you in your mind? Have you in your mind sort of accepted that you probably won't box till 2021?
Yeah, I have, and I don't know whether that will probably be the back end of 2021, if I'm honest with you, but. I have got my head around it, and it's a bit strange because I've only had one pro fight, and as an amateur, I'm used to fighting quite frequently. So it's different adjusting to the pro game where I'm not fighting as often, and especially with this, it's been a long. It feels like it's been ages since I've last boxed, but it's just one of them things. Really.
Well, I hope it's not the end of 2021 because it will be a.
That'd be quite
horrific. Yeah, we just got to hope. So, yeah. Tell everybody about your amateur career. What you did as an amateur.
As an amateur, I've got a silver medal in the Haringey Box Cup. I'm a bronze medalist in the ABAs, and I did get to a national final, but unfortunately I couldn't make the national final for injury. So that was a shame. But And I never quite got to box for England. That's the only thing I really wanted to box before I went down professional, but it wasn't to be. But I feel like I've got more of a better chance in the pros anyway. I think my style's better suited to the pros.
And was your brother Chris a big influence for you?
Yeah, I mean, Chris has been professional for about, I think it's 4 years now, and I've learnt a lot from Chris. I feel like I know more about the pro game than a lot of people would. So he has been a big help, really.
And what would you say from watching your brother? What have you learned that others haven't learned? What would you say you know that others don't know?
I'd say it's not all talent professionals, not all glamour if you're not looked after properly. I feel like some people are steered down a different road to others, and some people fall into certain categories than other people. Do you know what I mean? I think it's all about who you know, who looks after you properly, and so yeah, I feel like I've definitely learned a lot from him.
That's good. And going forward in your career, I mean, what are your aspirations as a professional boxer?
Well, I feel like I'm more than capable to win a British title. I've no doubt in my mind that I can win a British title, and if you win the British, I see a lot of opportunities coming from that. I look at people like Jason Wellborn, for example. He won the British and then defended it and then went on to fight for a world title. So I don't see why I couldn't do that, if I'm honest with you.
And who are your best friends in boxing?
All the lads at the gym, really. I'm good mates with Marlee, my coach, Shane Radmore, Brad O'Connor, Cameron Webb. I've got loads of friends in boxing. Yeah.
So going forward, your style of boxing? How would you explain to people your style of boxing? What are you? Do you class yourself as a clever boxer, a puncher?
I feel like I could do a bit of everything, really. As an amateur, I was a big counter puncher. I feel like it was best suited to me. But as a professional, I feel like I've learned well to be a front foot boxer. I feel like as an amateur, all I've done was back foot boxing, and now I've got everything. I feel like I could do anything.
And how much do you think we saw of your potential on your debut?
I feel like it was a small part, really. I think it's definitely a small part. I know I got the stoppage, but I feel like it wasn't my best performance, if I'm honest with you. I was happy with how I performed, but 100% I feel I can perform a lot better in the future.
Yeah. So I mean, you're trained by Marlee Dann, who we're going to speak to in a minute. And who trained you through your amateur career?
Well, I've been to quite a few clubs. I think I've been to 5 amateur clubs, but I did end my career with Marlee at Intense, and that was where I had most of my success towards the back end of my amateur career, really.
So hopefully we're going to see a lot of you, especially down in Plymouth, hopefully on the TV one day as well, with any luck.
That's the hope, hopefully, yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Connor. Very nice to speak to you again. And we'll now speak to your coach, and he's going to tell us how wonderful you are.
Yeah, cheers, Steve, mate.
Take care, Connor.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Bye, mate. Bye. And that was Connor Adaway, one of the most exciting talents coming out of Plymouth. Now, most of these lads down in Plymouth, there's a couple of trainers down there. Richard Grigg is one, and Marlee Dann is another. Jamie Spate is now starting to train boxers down there as well. So we're getting a good group of trainers down in Plymouth that are going to help really build up boxing in that area. I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic area for boxing over the next few years. And one man who's going to be a major part of that is, in fact, Marlee Dann. And we're going to speak to Marlee as soon as we can get hold of him. Let's wait for Marlee to join us. Here we come. How are you, mate?
I can't hear you too well, mate. It's just cut in now, I think.
No, we just spoke to Connor, so he was all right. He weren't too nervous, was he?
Nervous, very nervous.
So, Marlee, tell us about what you've done, because you are the major instigator. What people know is we go down to Plymouth and we put a show on, which we did, and people go, "Oh, that's really good that you're bringing boxing to Plymouth," right? But it's not us. It was you that came and brought Plymouth boxing to us and got us involved in doing this, wasn't it? So you're the man that instigated this whole Plymouth revival, because it has been, in my opinion, an area that hasn't had the right boxing professional development. So tell us about how you started to get into the pro game and what you did to build up all these fighters in the gym.
Where do I start, really? Boxing, well, look, the southwest of England, we're at the lower end of the country. We're the last to catch on to anything down here. I was boxing when I was a kid with a amateur club in Plymouth called Pilgrims, and went on, and I never really had the confidence that I was going to be steered in the right direction at the right time in my life, and I always took a backward step and just looked at things from a coach's point of view. And I looked at it and thought, the base of professional boxing needs to be bigger, or else every professional is going to be from Plymouth or the southwest. They're going to be on the road, and then we all know how that happens and how that turns out. So I've done my apprenticeship as an amateur coach, and I've done that for 9 years. And then I've decided, when I started getting a lot of success with the amateurs and a lot of the amateur lads, and I thought, man, this is about the time now that we make the steps into the right direction with the professionals and give everyone in the southwest a bit of a fighting chance, really. And
that's what's really happened, isn't it? Because too many quality pros or potential pros down there have ended up going the journeyman route far too early. We can name people like Courtney Richards as one, who, to me, was a talent that was just wasted in how his career panned out, in my opinion. And there are others as well. I mean, I think Chris went down the journeyman route, Connor's brother, didn't he? Fairly early again, and he could have been, a champion without a doubt. And that's something you're trying to stop, isn't it?
I think the biggest problem with it is probably misinformation. If someone walks into a gym and they're told you could be a champion, they're only going to believe whatever the coach is telling them to. And then when it's too late, well, then it's too late. They've got to carry on that road. So by being truthful and being honest with these people and showing them the right door in the right place and putting them there hopefully at the right time, giving people a fighting chance. And I don't think Plymouth, we got 300,000 people that live in Plymouth, so it's not a huge city, but it's not a small city. So why the hell are we getting champions down here? And it all boils down to misinformation and not having the right opportunities.
Well, hopefully now the Plymouth now has got, like Richard Griggs doing his bit, Jamie Spates helping doing his bit. Obviously, Brad Pauls is doing his bit in Cornwall to help the area. So hopefully between all of you, you can help to really rejuvenate the area. It'd be great to see televised boxing back down there again. And it only takes one big star to do that.
I feel so. I think, up mine now, I think we've got 5 or 6 pros in the gym.
And run me through the guys in your gym. Tell me about them.
What, amateurs or just the pros?
No, the pros.
Well, let's start off with Connor, who's just on. We've got Lewis Everson. We have Constantine Urso. We have Marcus Hodgson. We have Courtney Richards, who's been with us for a while. We have Conrad, who boxed on your last show up in York. I think that's about it. And we've got a couple lads there. Oh, Brad O'Connor. Yeah, Brad O'Connor. He's just turned over 2 with you. So we've got enough lads there, and we've got a few amateurs there who's
going through those lads. I mean, Constantine Ursu was a superb amateur, wasn't he?
He is, yeah. He was a great amateur.
And of the others, who had the best amateur? Obviously, we know that Constantine had a fantastic resume. What about the others? Who had the best amateur resume out of the rest of them?
Well, most of everyone that's on that list, really, other than Brad O'Connor, came to me broken. They came to me with broken. So I don't look at the record and say, oh, he was the greatest amateur, and this guy won this title, and this guy won that title. Because all of the ones that I've said is all done either very well in the amateurs and won things, or they've achieved like great things in their own aspect. But when they come to me, they was broken. Their records was down, or their style didn't suit how they boxed, or they was counter boxers and they was told to go forward and don't stop throwing. And it's things like this here, and they've come to me and we've just developed them and we've tweaked here and there. And their amateur record of what it was, to me, like a great amateur don't necessarily mean they're going to be a great pro, as you're well aware of. You know, do they have to be capable? Yeah, of course, you know. But I think with being a professional, things all about in here and what's in here.
And I was going to say, as a coach, what are the things that you feel that you need to deal with an amateur when they're turning over to pro? So as a coach, how do you approach it and think, well, it's a different sport, isn't it? So what do you as a coach do when you think this guy, now I've got to change him from an amateur to a pro?
Everything, Steve. Everything.
Everything.
So everything. For me, if not 9 times out of 10, if anyone comes into the gym, they're always going to pick up bad habits, and they're going to get bad habits with me, and you know they're going to get bad habits with everyone that with. But for me, what I like to do is I like to address each boxer individually. So some boxers are too high on their feet, they're moving too fast, they're not getting beyond their shots, or their shots ain't the right length, or they're dropping their arms on. So everyone's different. So for me, I think the big transition through the amateur to professional would more than likely be the sparring. I think that when you're training someone to be a great junior, you know, they start off at 1.5 minute rounds, that goes to 2 minute rounds, and then you turn up to 3 minute rounds, and then it's only 3 rounds. As a professional, you're thrown in at 4 rounds, and then it goes up and up. So I think the sparring is how you see the difference between the child and the man. So I think if you're educated and you do it correctly, I think I would probably say we start off with the sparring.
And as a pro trainer, how many boxers do you have capacity for in your gym?
At one time in my gym, I could probably hold 50. I've got 3 rings. I've got maybe 20, 30 bags, about 30 bags over 2 floors. Yeah, we got a lot of area.
And how many pros do you think you could have under your wing at any one time?
I don't know, but I've got 6 at the minute, and I'm doing that pretty fine, comfortably.
So there's room at the inn then.
And there's room at the inn, yeah.
For the right ones.
Always for the right ones.
Marlee, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You take care, and I'll catch up with you soon, as usual.
Give me a call. Bye, mate.
I will do. Cheers, mate.
Bye, mate.
That's Marlee Dann, who I have chats with on a regular basis. A good man, an up-and-coming trainer, and a man that we very much appreciate all the help he's giving to us down in Plymouth. Now we're going to move to a young man. He's still only 23. He's had 7 pro fights, but hasn't actually been in the ring now for about a year. He's one of my favourite young boxers, a young man called Jack Newham. So let's have a chat with Jack. If I can find hold of Jack. Let's find Jack. And after Jack, we've got Curtis Gargano on. So,
hey,
hello, Jack.
How are we going on?
I'm all right, mate. What have you been up to?
Not a lot, mate. Just working, flat out working.
Oh, yeah. And what are you doing work-wise?
On the bins.
Still doing the same.
Still going, mate. Everyone's going mad that they're working during these hard times.
And have you not had a day off? Then you've just carried on.
Carried on working every day.
So you've not had any of the benefits of being off. You've had to just do everything.
Every day, working some weekends as well, to be fair.
Seriously?
Yeah. Because we're busy out there on that, so we had to work weekends.
Good. So let's talk about your career. I mean, we started off in 17, didn't we, with 4 straight wins?
Yeah.
And then you had a bit of a nightmare in October 18 at Tottenham, didn't you, with Fonz Alexander? Yeah. You're winning the fight, and you just got caught by one, didn't you? Yeah,
with a silly shot.
Yeah, it was just a fluke.
Yeah.
It happens in boxing, and you came back with a win, and then in the last fight, you unfortunately received a flying headbutt which was again unfortunate. It was a technical draw. So, tell us about your current setup in boxing for when we go back to normal.
Well, I'm literally back with Ricky Evans now. So back with him, which I should have gone back with him when I first turned pro. But I thought, let me see how John goes. And then obviously, me and John had a on text. And then since December, I've been out since June.
Yeah.
But I did have a break and see what I wanted to do. And then I got hold of Rick. And then I'd done, 2 weeks of training with Rick. And I just got the love back with it again.
How do you feel about boxing now?
See, but I still love it. I still love going boxing, still fighting. But I just need to get back at York again and get back winning. Have 2 good wins.
Yeah.
I spoke to Rick about go for a 6-rounder after 2 good wins.
Yeah.
And then chase for a Southern area or an English title.
Yeah, makes sense. So I mean, obviously the loss. Now a lot of young boxers suffer a loss, and then when they lose, that's them done. So often, if you look at boxers' records, they'll have 4, 5, 6 wins. A disaster occurs.
Yeah.
And for me, the strength of a man is how they pick themselves up after adversity. And you did that, didn't you? You didn't say, right, I've lost, I'm going to sulk. You were disappointed, but you got back on it and you carried on, didn't you? And that I admire about you. And that's a fantastic.
When I lost to Franz Alexander, I went on holiday, had a break after that fight. Then I was like, let me get back in that ring and show him that I still got it. Not stop sulking about it. Obviously that week it shocked me, and then I went back in the gym, got back training. I was like, I can do this. I can come back, get another win, and get back on my winning streak. Then I've done that against Antonio.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. First back. That was a good fight. First on, even better.
Yeah.
Even though I was nervous, but I'd rather go, like you said, I'd rather go on first and then later on.
Once you've had an adversity, I think it's very important to get that fight out.
Yeah.
That's why you went on first.
And then obviously after that I got that technical draw.
Yeah.
And that's what put me back quite a bit. And I had that then the whole end of that rest of that year off.
Yeah.
To have a break and see what I wanted to do. And then I got contact back with Rick. And then I just fell back in love with it, training back with him.
And do you feel as positive as you've ever felt then?
Yeah. So I've got a strength and conditioning coach now. So that's helped me out a bit more. That's helped with my strength, my speed.
Well, see, one thing, if you're half as successful as the other big man Rendell Munro was...
I know. Me and Rick said we'll come out in the old Hillingdon Hivies.
Exactly.
And with the old Me Old Man's a Dustbin, we can have that song as well.
Do you know what? That is something that followed Rendell all the way through his career, didn't it? And it's,
yeah, no,
I do actually genuinely say this. Things like that are very useful for a boxer to have a theme, because it makes them more attractive as a prospect to the TV and everything like that. If you can build something up, like Warrington did at Leeds, but he used that same song about Leeds all the way through, and it really does help. So if you get a theme, it really helps.
Yeah, no, that's our theme next.
Oh, it's a really good idea.
Big man.
It's a really good idea. So
now we're going to go for it.
So the COVID thing, all your people at work all been safe?
Yeah, so all of us, I think 2 people, but then all of us all in like the school minibuses, so it ain't all cramped up in the lorry. So all in the school minibuses, keeping our distance, so it ain't too bad.
That's fairly safe. It's fairly safe for you anyway.
Better than being in a cramped up lorry.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? So
all coughing and spluttering. So
you're still in your relationship? Is that still going strong?
Yeah, still going strong. Still there.
Have you been with her over the lockdown or not?
I've been with her, apart from 1 week. I was at my mum's and my dad's for 1 week, and then I came back here with her.
Well, that's good. You're still happy with each other.
Still going strong, happy and strong.
Do you know something today? They've announced that the divorce rate is going to be the highest ever following this. They've announced that divorce lawyers are making fortunes. There's been a divorce lawyer on. He said he's only going to have to take new staff on to cope with the amount of people that get divorced.
Mate, I feel sorry for them people getting divorced.
Let me tell you, it's expensive for people getting divorced. But I think they look at each other and think, I don't really like you anymore, and then they want to move on.
I feel sorry for them people.
Yeah, it's hard. Listen, as long
Everyone's
as you're happy,
healthy.
that's the main thing, mate. That's the main thing.
I can't wait to get back in the ring, hopefully, next year, hopefully, innit?
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll hope. Well, we don't know. We're sort of governed by what's going on in with the government and the science and the treatment. I mean, because the thing is, if you were fine at your call, you're never going to sell tickets when there's a virus around, right? Nobody's going to want to go up.
It'd be hard. It'd be impossible.
And it'd be stupid for anybody to try and do it either, because it's not, you'd be like asking people to come and risk their lives, which is silly. And at the end of the day, you're 23 years old, you've got a really successful career ahead. Yeah. So if we have to resume it next year, whatever,
that's fine. That gives me more time as well.
Exactly. You'll be strong. The way you look at it, at 23, you're still a baby. You don't heat your feet till 26, 27. So, yeah, it's probably to your advantage.
Now, we're going to...
very young.
Now, me and Rick said we're going to have 2 good fights and then go for a 6-rounder. And then we said we just chase for that southern area.
It makes good sense.
Step by step.
Anyway, good to see you, Jack.
And you, Steve.
So happy and positive.
And I'm always happy.
Yeah, but you're positive as well now, so that's even better.
Yeah, I know. Me and Rick got everything on point now.
He's a top man, so it's a great team. It's a great team. Great team.
No, we've got it.
Thanks a lot, mate. You take
Cheers.
care.
See you soon.
See you soon, Jack.
Ta-da.
And that was Jack Newham, who I am certain will be winning professionals, probably 2022 time. And he's a man to watch out for. He turned pro very young, but he's got a massive, massive career ahead of him. And that's from a man who's got a massive career ahead of him to a man who's had a very, very interesting career in the past, Mr. Curtis Gargano. Let's get hold of Curtis. Curtis, how you doing?
How you doing, mate? Good to see you, Steve, lad.
Me too. How's life treating you?
Great, man. Life's brilliant, mate. To be fair, this lockdown's done me a lot of favours. It's been great.
What's been great for you in lockdown?
Losing weight. You know what? It's just being able to concentrate on myself.
Really?
Instead of being busy in the gyms all day and night and up and down the country every week. We've been okay. Spent time with the family. Back in the gym now with the fighters. I'm busy again. Just no shows, but they'll come.
Yeah, no, they'll come in time. So, tell us about your career, because your dad was really an inspiration to you, wasn't he? Because he was a great character of boxing, wasn't he? Tell us about your dad.
My dad for me was like, I grew up in boxing, so when I was a kid in the 80s, we couldn't afford the babysitter. My mum used to work all the time. So I used to be in the gyms, the tough, hard gyms in Manchester. Nat Basso, he was a manager back then. I used to be in all the gyms all the time growing up. I remember going to the fights with my dad at the Free Trade Hall in Manchester Centre, when it was just rough. I just remember it. I remember when my dad got knocked down once, I was crying. I was only a kid. You know what I mean? I didn't really like it that much when I was a kid, to be honest with you. My dad didn't force it on me, but I got into it when I was like 11, 12, properly. I loved it. One day, he come back from work, I got his boxing gloves out. Remember the old gloves, the bag gloves, not the big ones? Yeah. And me and mates in the garden just levering each other. My dad said, "You know what? You're pretty good. You should go to the gym." But it wasn't easy at first, with boxing. I took an idea because as an amateur, I beat a lot of good people. I'm not going to name no names. I was winning all the time as an amateur. I was good. But life went the wrong way, turned pro a bit late and, I had to go the journeyman route. But I knew how to look after myself, so I knew I'd be okay.
But some people do realise, but, I mean, we both featured in that documentary that they did.
Yeah, we were both scared. We were both scared, weren't we?
Yeah, I know, because we were a bit worried that, because there was all this documentary going on. I thought, I hope we're not going to get shafted by this documentary, you know.
Oh, I just didn't know what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But it come out brilliant. Everyone
It's a
loved
really
it.
good documentary, wasn't it? They've done a brilliant job with it. What was it called now? What was it called?
It was called Undefeated. Defeated.
Yeah.
It was
If
called.
you haven't watched this documentary, go onto YouTube. It really tells you about the role of a journeyman. Because Curtis here, he could have won a lot of fights and he didn't win. Let's leave it that way, because they need to lose to get work. It's a crazy setup. But go and watch. I think it's called Defeated. Go and watch the documentary. The best bit of advice is brilliant watch. It's a brilliant watch.
Yeah, it was great. It worked out brilliant. I mean, we had the top dog on there, Rob Smith as well. You was on there. It was good. I was just so glad. You know, it was sad to watch. It's just that it was at the end of my career. I had a lot of injuries. You know, but it was still good. Yeah. It was good. My dad got mentioned on there. You know, it was a beautiful thing to be a part of. I was very proud of that.
Yeah, it was. And
really, you know, it won an award as well. The people that done it, they actually won an award. Yeah, they won an award for that. I seen them. It was a big, massive thing. Honestly,
they deserved that because it was a brilliant. I mean, it was Callum, wasn't it? And there was a couple of the girls. I can't remember the names.
Oh, they come up to Manchester for about 4 days.
You know, but really nice people, weren't they? Really nice people. And,
yeah, he was good on him. I thought we was gonna make us look like we was idiots, but they didn't.
Well, they didn't do that. And the thing was, we were getting calls saying you all been stitched up. And I was thinking, I spoke to Callum. I said, I hope this isn't going to be a stitch up. And he said no. It was. He said no. He promised me it was okay. And to be honest, they gave a really good view. But you know what happens with these people? Sometimes people can take interviews and take all the comments out of context, can't they? To make it.
So this is the thing. This is what they actually rung me and told me the parts, and I got to choose certain bits what I didn't want in it. Which you know yourself, some people won't do that. The bits you don't want in it, they're putting in it.
Yeah,
they are. So yeah, credit to him. You know, it's brilliant. Good to be a part of, and great to be a part of it with you as well.
No, it was brilliant, mate. And so tell us about what you're doing in boxing now.
Oh, right now, I've got my manager's license. I've got the thing with me, boxing. I love boxing, but I'm more for the journeyman. Do you know what I mean? And right now, I've got a gym. You know, I've got about 7 pros now. The thing is, just this lockdown, I was about to get really busy. I had 2 fighters who've just got the licenses who was ready, and they're really fit. They're gonna be strong. You know, they're gonna get wins. They're gonna be good. I had fighters ready for interviews, fighters ready to do the medicals. You know, things was really kicking off. You know, I'll probably have 20 journeymen by the end of next year.
Seriously?
I'll be filling your shows. Ring me.
You're the main man.
But to be honest with you, I've got two prospects as well now. You want to train with me? Yeah, they love it. They love the atmosphere. They love, you know, they want to be with me, you know. But up north, like the 2 ticket sellers, I'll probably go with like Steve Woods, and you know, you've got Black Flash Promotion, you've got Kieran Farrell, you've got Steve Woods. So I'm friends with all of them, so I can use them all. It's a bit like that up here. Everyone just goes on different shows.
Yeah, which is nice.
Oh,
that's good. So you're still enjoying it and still loving it.
I'm loving it, but you know what it is? Right now, I'm loving my family. I've got a good family. You know, my missus believes in me. You know, this is going to pay off. I'm lucky. She does well herself. You know, I can do this full time. I've not had loads of money coming in at the minute, but you know, we've been okay. Because
what does your wife do for work then?
She's a mobile hairdresser, so she's out of work at the minute.
Oh my God!
You know, but you know, we don't need. We've got a house over our head. We've got cars. You know, with what's gone on, we've actually been okay because you know we've had help and stuff. You know, we've not been allowed to go anywhere anyway.
No, that is true.
So we've just been in the house and looking after the kids and stuff. But you know, I'm back in the gym now. I can do one-on-ones.
Yeah.
We can't do them in the gym, but you know we can do them.
And how old are your children, Curtis?
My little boy's 10, my little girl's 6. So you know, it's the kids who have suffered the most in this because they can't go anywhere, Joe. They can't see their friends, and it's been pretty hard. But they've been okay. They've got each other. But
yeah, that's good.
like you say, you know, my little girl phones her friends on my phone. on FaceTime, and she's on the phone for hours.
Oh, that's lovely.
and her cousins and stuff, you know.
Oh, John, Curtis, I'm so glad to see you so happy and buzzing about everything. It's brilliant.
Do you know what it is? Like, I'm training hard. I've lost a stone in 4 weeks. I've got a bike. I've got a racer bike. I'm doing 30-mile bike rides. I'm going to build that to 70-mile bike rides. So I'm testing myself. I'm going on 10-mile runs. I'm going to build that to 27 miles. So I want to do marathon. You know what I mean? So I'm putting all my energy into training, and that's it.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'm so happy to see you happy. I'm glad you're going to make another success as a manager, trainer, and everything else, because you deserve it all, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm blessed. You know what it is with my fighters. You know, they come from bad backgrounds. Some of them. You know, they haven't got anything, and you know, I've been through a lot of stuff in life myself to get where I am now. So they like being around me because I can help them keep them on the right direction and give them a chance. You know, to make some money and do what they love, because they're tough kids, and you'll meet them all on your shows. But I'll tell you what, I used to love boxing on your shows. I must have boxed about 70 fighters on your shows, and it was great. Nothing better than boxing at your call. And you know, because of you, I've had that opportunity to box there. My dad boxed there. You know, it's brilliant. I love the Goodwin shows. Your son's brilliant. You know, all your family's brilliant. They're good shows, and you always look after us, putting us on early and everything. It's great.
Thank you very much, Curtis. Thanks for joining us, and it's been really brilliant talking to you, my friend.
Brilliant to talk to you as well. You take care, Steve.
You too. Love to your family.
Bye-bye.
You take care. Bye, mate.